the easiest way to make players play to the best of their ability. So, there's a bunch. There's probably too many to name individually.
I know you weren't here last year, but I was talking to Chris, and he was just talking about the first 5 games last year was just more mental. They didn't trust each other as well, but they feel like they're in a different position this offseason. Where do you think that comes from? How do you sort of try and make that not happen?
Well, the first thing I do is talk about how this scheme is built. We're one gap, we're attacking defense, and the offense decides who makes the play. The second you try to do someone else's job, that's when bad things happen. So I think that's part of it. I think Coach Drinkwitz, with the culture that he's built here over his, going to his 3rd year, the extracurricular activities that we do outside of just football, that's how you build trust. Trust to me is built through, one, through adversity. Adversity springs together, but then 2, the camaraderie that you build doing stuff outside of football. So I think Coach Drinkwitz has had a huge role in that.
Would you say that there's anything else that helped you guys build that trust? I know, obviously you can trust someone because they're your coach, but have you seen them buy into you? Have you explained? I don't know. Is there another way other than just explain how your scheme was built?
I think just being myself every day, and being real and being genuine and being honest. I think trust and respect is a two-way street, and I think I show them I'm going to trust and respect them, and until there's a reason not to, and I expect the same in return. And I think just that natural relationship of being genuine and being myself is probably helped.
Blake, I'm going to assume you spent a couple hours breaking down every game from last year at some point in the offseason. So physically, what does this defense have to do to not have last year repeat itself?
I think they just have to trust one another. I think, the big thing to me is do your job. If all 11 on the field do their job, I think we'll just be fine. But that's gonna be kind of the mindset and the goal of this fall camp, is come together as one and learn to trust each other, learn to communicate pre-snap. All those things play a big part in it. But physically, that physical capability should not be an issue for us.
I know any coach wants to be able to have something that say, hey, I can hang my hat on this, right? Looking at the guys on the roster, what you've got coming back, I mean, is there a player or a position, or what do you say, this is what we know we have?
See, I think that's a great question, because I think that's part of this fall camp. There were so many guys through injury, through transfers, or through incoming freshmen that we didn't have in this spring. So I don't know exactly what we do have, and I'm not sure we will until probably the second scrimmage of fall camp, and that's going to be a big point of emphasis to me. Is the competition that we've provided as a coaching staff is going to let the cream rise to the top, and they're going to decide the depth chart, not us. So it'll be interesting, because that is a great question, because I can't answer that wholeheartedly right now.
I'm curious. One of the guys that you kind of hear his name a lot is Tyron Hopper, and just what have you seen out of him? Not physically, because you're not going through a lot of practices, but just coming in as kind of a veteran guy in this league, and his ability to fit in and kind of lead guys here.
Yeah, I think he's done a phenomenal job fitting in. The thing that he does provide is, like you talked about, experience playing the position in this league. And, I think his work ethic. I think those kind of speak for himself. He's not a super vocal guy, but I think that he's earned the respect of his teammates by how hard he works, on and off the field.
Mm-hmm. One other guy, and you mentioned the injuries you didn't have Ennis all springs, but he said you were familiar with him because you tried to get him down to Miami out of high school. Is that right?
Yeah, he big timing. Yes, I knew of Ennis in high school.
Yeah, and what have you seen just in workouts this summer of where he's at physically coming back?
From what I've seen, like I said, really in July, we don't spend much time with him in June. It looks like he's headed in the right direction. I'm excited, to have the opportunity to work with him. Obviously in the spring we didn't, so I'm excited. I think Ennis is got a little chip on his shoulder, and to me that's what kind of, it's like Michael Jordan in his documentary, he kind of logged everything mentally and uses that to propel him forward. So I'm hoping Ennis does the same. But I am excited to get on the field and work with Ennis.
Last thing, every defensive coordinator has described his defense as multiple in the history of football, right? But what's your base? What's your go-to?
Our base is going to be a 4-down attacking defense. We're going to be a 1-gap defense. We're always hunting tackles for loss and ball disruptions. But we want to stop the run. We want to harass and confuse and hit the quarterback. And I believe for us, we do that playing an aggressive 4-down style defense.
Is that 4-2-5, 4-3?
Yeah, 4-2-5 with a hybrid. Star. We call him a star. So,
right.
That's how we get it done.
And that is kind of the variable position. I mean, some coaches have a preference. Hey, I want a corner there, or I want more of a typical safety. What's your prototype for that position?
Kind of a hybrid between a safety and an outside linebacker. We want a guy that's physical enough to play in the box, but also capable of playing man-to-man coverage.
Yeah.
So I think that guy, depending on who it is and what he's physically capable of, can provide a lot of multiplicity for what we want to get accomplished. So it's a key part for what we do.
Yeah. On this roster, who are the guys you're working with there and kind of fit that mold?
Martez Manuel, Dalen Carnell, Tyler Jones. There's a lot of candidates out there that could potentially do that. But those are 3 guys, that we're going to start off working at that position.